Mitra Kapoor and you're watching Coffee and Crypto. This is the show in which we give you lots of yarn about what is it that you need to know in the world of cryptocurrency, what updates to tap on as well. And wow, what a week it has been. From having the first official meeting on crypto inside Parliament to the Prime Minister talking about cryptocurrency as well, and then the prices crashing down. There is so much for me to discuss in this week's episode of CC. So without any delay, let's get to the coffee table and let's get started. Wow, new week, new cup as well for us this time around. And load up on your coffee as well, because there is so much that has to be decoded on how the past week went. Now, this is one week which India will not forget. This is one time where the base, the foundation for the future of crypto has been set. And why am I saying that? Because of a series of things that happened. Let's start with that all-significant meeting that happened inside the Parliament, where the Parliamentary Committee on Finance, headed by MP Jayant Sinha, sat down, invited the crypto community to come and join him in a conversation about what cryptocurrency is all about and what the future will be. Let's talk about the significance of this meeting first. Importantly, the first ever meeting on crypto happened between the government and the crypto community, the first official, if you can call it that, really. It was key, as this is coming right ahead of the winter session of Parliament. A lot of speculation already about where there should be a bill that should come in, there should be regulation, there should be absolute clarity into which way India is going when it comes to crypto. It also came, very interestingly, after Prime Minister himself had done a closed-door meeting with, guess who all? RBI, the Ministry of Home Affairs and also the Ministry of Finance. Interesting trio over there. Prime Minister took feedback from them and sort of took and gave out a source-based information as well that we picked up about which way India will be going, and he is thinking progressive. But back to the meeting, let's tell you who all came. Well, the top 5 crypto exchanges in the country came, blockchain and Crypto Assets Council came as well. My favorite part about the meeting is that the MPs had actually called in some IIM and IIT experts as well to give them a presentation. Tell them what exactly is crypto, what exactly is blockchain. Well, they could have just watched Coffee and Crypto, right? But that's a story we'll tell them some other day. Let's tell you what the outcome was. The outcome, big thumbs up and a positive one, because the panel came out saying that crypto cannot be stopped and it must be regulated, paving the way for a regulation coming in. Next meeting, in fact, the panel will be meeting up with government officials and we'll hear from Government of India on which way they are thinking. Next meeting will also be all eyes on how this legislation will come up, who will form this legislation, if there has to be somebody looking over like a SEBI kind of body which is for the stock market, if that has to be here for crypto, who will it be, who will run this, what exactly are going to be the fine prints of this, all of that will be discussed. But if you look at India's crypto journey and why we are calling this such a landmark moment, because look at these figures. In 2018, RBI had banned crypto. 2020, Supreme Court allowed crypto. Cut to 2021, the Prime Minister, the Parliament panel on Finance is actually discussing cryptocurrency. All of this happening in such a short period of time, telling us something. Well, telling us about crypto is Prime Minister himself. So listen in.
Take cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, for example. It is important that all democratic nations work together on this and ensure it does not end up in wrong hands, which can spoil our youth.
All right, so what did you make of that statement? The Prime Minister saying it needs to be regulated, the country and the world needs to work together towards it so that it does not fall in wrong hands. Also adding that we got to be progressive, we got to look at it and embrace technology as well. So huge thumbs up, that's how the industry is seeing it as of moment. But that is this week on crypto regulation. But what about crypto pricing and how are the markets really responding? Well, that's a story, another story in itself, and let's talk about that first. Well, Bitcoin fell to a 1-month low and was headed to the worst week in 6 months as traders have booked profits from a really wrong and a long rally that we've seen that has come in. But this dip, many saying, spooked by multiple reasons. Just for perspective, remember that Bitcoin has more than doubled this year and Ethereum has gone up 6-folds. So a correction right now, many say, was in the works. Now, also what's been happening is that the largest cryptocurrency in the market, when that crashes, it takes the market down with it. Bitcoin was down 1.6%, its lowest since mid-October, and about 20% below the last week's record high as well. For the week, Bitcoin has fallen about 14%. That's huge through its 50-day moving average as well. It has gained more than 90% this year, so you can make the averages over there. But like I said, it's not just Bitcoin, right? It's Ethereum, it's other coins as well. Solana, several other coins went down. But now we are going to find out, and that is why we are here to help you find out, what exactly is the reason behind this dip. Does it happen systematically? Is there a Bitcoin price cycle that is in the works that perhaps we need to know more about? Well, telling us about that is Ajit Khurana, back with us on CC. Hi Ajit, welcome back to CC. We keep coming back to you to get all the GAN that we need to know to understand this very fascinating world of cryptocurrency. First, take us through your top 5 reasons on why market is behaving the way it is.
So one reason that encapsulates all my top 5 reasons, frankly, is that like many other speculative assets, Bitcoin over-exaggerates on the upside and the downside. On 21st November last year, the price of Bitcoin was 18,600. It's 56,800 right now as we are talking. So that is 3 times. So this exuberance has caused definitely positions to build up, and these positions often in the crypto market are leveraged, where a person puts in, let's say, 1,000 rupees but buys Bitcoin worth, let's say, 10,000 rupees. And when the interest rate or the cost of carry goes too high, the people have to unwind their positions, often at a loss. So all of my 5 reasons, such as international news, FUD, that is fear, uncertainty, doubt arising on the regulatory front, the liquidity being probably constrained by central bankers, all of those come down to this, that we are now having to close our positions and reduce our exuberance.
Right. So it was quite a paradox, right, Ajit? Because in India, if you look at it, not a big player, not a big influence when it comes to pricing just yet. Let's just say that to be very clear. On regulation front, we did pretty well this week. This is a huge step forward, and then the market's behaving the way they are. Would you say this is a good buying opportunity?
So I think we are close to a good buying opportunity, as in I'm not giving financial advice, of course, but if you were to look at me, I have over the last few days moved from, actually last 1 day really, moved a little bit from positions into stable coin, waiting for the price to become a little better. And if I may just, you of course have to take a view that when the Indian regulatory impact comes in, what will it be like? But if you feel that there might be even a momentary dump, you could be holding some of your money on Indian exchanges to capture that opportunity.
I see. But I want to talk a little more about Bitcoin halving as well. Not a lot of people understand this concept of how the mining works. But quickly for our viewers, really simply put, Bitcoin, like any other cryptocurrency, is created through mining, right? You know that by now. We've told you and done several explainers on that. The reward for mining, that is the number of Bitcoin a miner actually earns for successful authentication, is set. However, every 4 years, this reward is halved in number. Are we in the same time in the cycle, Ajit, and this could be an impact because of the halving?
So the thing is that the last halving occurred a little over a year ago in May 2020, and the next one is in 2024. So we are not close to any halving. Having said that, what tends to happen is that people know almost exactly when the halving will happen, so they start reacting to it in advance. So, for example, now that every new block of Bitcoin which comes up every 10 minutes or so is creating 6.5 new Bitcoin, which will become 3.75, which means for all practical purposes, all the Bitcoin that had to ever be created has already been created. I have done a research before this program as to what happened with the previous halvings, And I saw that in the first halving, which was November 12, the Bitcoin price shot up after the halving.
Yes.
In the second one, it kind of moved sideways. And in the third one, again, we saw it go up, but not as spectacularly. So what is happening is that I think a second order effect is happening with halving. First, people believe that, the price will go up. As a result, the price goes up in advance of that. Then when the actual event comes, all the price has already gone up and people are like, hey, price will go up, and it doesn't react the same way. So then the negativism comes in, and that leads, so it's all cyclical, frankly.
I see. And last question here, because this is a fascinating one. You're trying to talk about how regulation is linked to Bitcoin pricing globally as well. But then the question really is, Ajit, what happened when the China ban happened, right? We hardly saw any movement in the market. It caused a minor sort of 8% correction in Bitcoin prices in May of 2021.
Isn't it exciting that 8% correction is minor because it's Bitcoin, right? In another market, that would have been a devastating bloodbath. Having said that, I think that one of the things that a lot of people who may not have been around for Bitcoin history long enough forget is that this was China's 5th ban of Bitcoin. Some version or the other has been done. And in the crypto community, for people who have seen it, they're like, oh, one more Chinese ban, right? So we did not take it as seriously. We definitely did not take it as a precursor to other governments following suit, because we have watched this movie before. And in any case, China bans Google, Facebook, etc. That doesn't mean that the rest of the world is watching it. So I think that, China ban doesn't hurt. Another regulatory impact, such as India, could be different.
I see. We leave it there for the moment. There's lots more to talk about, especially the big upgrade that came through Taproot as well. But maybe in the next program, we'll pick your brains about that. Thanks, Ajit, for joining us with the very latest. All right, so that was all about pricing. But let's go back and rewind to regulation over here. Big news when it comes to the India front. And talking to us about that, our next guest is a Rajya Sabha MP, leader of Shiv Sena, Priyanka Chaturvedi, joins us. Hello and welcome to Coffee and Crypto, Priyanka. It's lovely. You are the first politician that we've had on the show, by the way. And a little birdie somewhere tells me it's your birthday. What a way to be celebrating birthday talking about crypto.
So thank you so much, Sonal, for this. And I think, birthday and the farmer protests ending and farmer bills being repealed, we talking about crypto, we talking about regulatory framework, they just fit into what I stand for and what I've been speaking for. So that is why I think it is important that we discuss issues which matter to the people of this country and which impact the people of this country, whether it is our farmers, whether it is our investors, and having a regulatory framework which creates an environment that builds a safety net for our investors is extremely important, considering most of the young in the country are talking interest in crypto, talking about crypto, understand crypto better, understand how technology works. So we need to do this for them and try and create an economy or try and understand technology to be able to better handle this entire
so this
crypto.
Is pretty much in line with what the community has been saying, Priyanka, what the Prime Minister is also adding to it now. But when you say regulation, what kind of regulation? There seems to be ambiguity over that. Give us your thoughts on how you see this progressing.
What I would want to see is, so you have a stock market is overlooked by a SEBI, which also ensures that it mediates as and when there is a problem that arises in terms of investors, in terms of volatility, in terms of credibility of investments. Of course, the similar won't apply to crypto because it's a largely unregulated market, but also understanding whether it will work as cryptos will work as assets, or will they obviously they cannot be legal tender. So we need to create a fluid framework, framework which also as we go along and understand what this technology brings to us. So 10 years ago we were talking about blockchain, now we're talking about crypto, and 5 years hence we might be talking about something else. But considering India is a country which has a large amount of young population, large amount of population which has knowledge of technology, which can work around technology, we may perhaps create an ecosystem which does not thwart our tech, and at the same time does not create a spot where investors are left in the lurch without anything to fall back on, a safety net to fall back on. There's a huge volatility, and I was listening to your price issues here, where there's a sudden drop in market. So today, an Elon Musk can tweet about Bitcoin, and he can bring down the entire, the price of Bitcoin. So those are things where we would need to safeguard and create a knowledge for investors also, because you have lots of ads happening, but you don't know how it works.
Right, but Priyanka, let me ask you this. This is your personal opinion. This is where the party stands on the issue of cryptocurrency as well. What exactly is the view over there? And also, moving forward, everybody, the stakeholders here at least, the community has been urging for a regulation to come in ASAP. How close, can you give us an insight, are we to a bill which could be put forward in the upcoming session?
So two things, as far as Maharashtra is concerned, and I speak from the state, I come from the state of Maharashtra, which has been a fintech hub, which is creating ecosystems which are looking at next generation of economy, where youngsters are interested in economy, which may not lead to, big time manufacturing, etc. They're looking at technology to innovate, to be able to create jobs, to create businesses. So as a state government, which is forward thinking and forward looking, we would need to understand what the young are talking about and what the young are invested in. So it would only do us well if we talk about the next gen lingo. At the same time, we need to create that framework that I've been speaking about. In my framework, I would say that the exchanges can be registered. There are lots of exchanges which are cropping up, crypto exchanges which are cropping up, which are fly by night in nature, which could lead to problems for our investors in the future. We need to educate our people about the volatility, about the unregulated space abroad. Maybe we need to look at foreign countries which are having a more fluid policy. For example, US, Singapore, they have a more fluid policy. And we need to also ensure that we have these exchanges, have customer database. Who is investing in the crypto? Where is the money coming from? So at least we have some understanding of how the system works. So once we have a little transparency in the framework, we also understand, for example, what happened in Karnataka, the Bitcoin scam, as it is called. We don't know whether we look at it from a cybercrime angle, we look at it as a financial fraud angle. We don't have these systems in place. So perhaps once we set the system up, whether we look at it as an asset, if it is an asset and you're earning some profit out of it, what is the percentage of taxable income that we are looking at? So all those things will only come when we start talking, and all stakeholders need to be hands-on with this and to be talking about this. And we will try and facilitate as much conversation as possible to have a bill which is very forward-looking. To have something in the framework which is forward-looking rather than something which creates a hindrance in India looking at next level of economic growth.
Well, there, on that note, you seem to be exactly in line with what the Prime Minister is also saying. So there is hope that there will be a semblance in what's coming forward. But you talked about educating people on crypto and blockchain. What about educating our MPs on this? Isn't that the key to take this forward as well?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Sometimes I do feel that technology without knowledge or policies without knowledge create a long-term damage for the people of this country and in terms of economy. Absolutely. I'm sure every member of parliament is interested in understanding how the process works. But the problem is that there are silos that exist even in the system where the stakeholders are talking their own language, RBI is talking its own language, Finance Ministry is talking its own concerns.
That's the worry.
So we need to bring everyone together and start talking.
All right. So good luck to you in taking this conversation forward, and happy birthday again. Also, congratulations on being the first MP to actually be on the show talking so proactively about cryptocurrency. Really appreciate that. Thanks for joining us, Priyanka.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, with that, it's time to take a quick break. But coming up on the other side, we've got another guest for you. This time, the Chairman and CEO of Leisure. Remember, we spoke about wallets, how integral they are in the entire crypto system. Well, he runs one of the best companies that make wallets in the world, and we find out the nitty-gritties on should you get Fund Wallet or should you just stay on the exchange. That answer on the other side. Come right back for that. Welcome back, and now it's time to take this conversation forward with the Chairman and CEO of Leisure, Pascal Gantar, joins us on CC. Hi Pascal, welcome to CC. You make some of the most sophisticated wallets that are out there, and we have already done explainers on the program educating people what wallets are, how to work. But you know, in an India context right now, where people are just getting on the crypto bandwagon, a lot of investment is happening through exchanges. So could you answer this key question for our viewers here in India on when do you make the switch from taking out your cash or taking out all your investments from exchanges and actually get a wallet of your own?
Sure. You know, all of these things, it's, it's really a personal decision, and it's based on the your education and the research you've done for this. So, you know, the first message I'll give to sort of anyone who is entering into crypto is to document themselves. I mean, this is serious. This is money. If you're an investor, you will invest. You know, if you do it for other reasons, in the end, it is still value. I mean, you know, what Bitcoin is, what cryptocurrencies are, you know, there are peer-to-peer networks to exchange value. So it's value. And so do your own research. That's my first message. And then know what's good for you. You know, I think if you're a trader, you know, sometimes one could argue that, you know, the only thing that you want to do is keep your money on the exchange and sort of trade all day long. And that might very well be true. But at some point, if you're in cryptocurrency because you feel that cryptocurrency is the future of value and the future of money, then if you don't own your cryptocurrency, then you're missing a fundamental piece of what cryptocurrency is. If you think that cryptocurrency is just like buying an Apple stock, then you will never need a Ledger wallet in a way. Like, you know, but I think you're missing the point of what cryptocurrencies are. And cryptocurrencies, again, it's about peer-to-peer. It's about being able to send Bitcoin to you without having a bank in the middle, without having an exchange in the middle. So when you own your crypto, and when your crypto is on your hardware wallet, it's on your ledger, then you're truly experiencing what crypto is. And only then you can truly understand why it's so great.
I love that analogy about Apple stocks there as well. But I want to understand from you the question about how secure these wallets are. We've seen what happened in the past, in the data leaks of 2020 as well. What has the industry learned from that?
You know, the data leak was a year and a half ago now, like close to 2 years. And we've discussed this extensively. It's documented on our website. We've done numerous video shows with our Chief Information Security Officer, Matt Johnson, Ask Me Anything. We've done long forums on this, and we've explained what happened, what we did, you know, what we're doing now. So I'm not going to go back on this because I think it's all news. And again, you know, for people that are interested in this and understanding what happened then and what we did then, everything is documented online. What I can tell you, though, and the most important thing to remember for everyone is that alongside with the rise of crypto, there is also the rise of cybercrime. And cybercrime, you know, is not a question of if, it's more a question of when. And what Ledger has been doing even more since these attacks, is to sort of raise the bar of security and cybersecurity inside Ledger to make our products, you know, all the way more secure and resilient for future usage. But when it comes to cybercrime in general and cybersecurity in general, again, I would say that users and consumers, they have to think about it. They have to educate themselves because there are many ways of trying to scam users. And with more value going every day on blockchain.
All right, over there. Some good advice coming in on the rise of cybercrime as well and how to actually take care of that. Thanks, Pascal. And that's all we could pack in this week's edition of Coffee and Crypto. See you next time. Bye-bye.